my favorite building at night. The double-headed bird. I want to say something, but it's not going to make any sense. I'm going to say it anyways. I've observed Russian. I think I have a preliminary handle on Russian culture. It's probably not right, but I feel like I have some kind of idea because of what I feel. Russia is known as a closed society. The difference between what I'm used to and Russia is that it seems like Russia has some pretty standard rules of society and how you conduct yourself. From people always telling me to wear a hat, and ever since then I noticed everyone kind of wears a hat and a scarf, and it's like, you know, in my head it's like, why do you have to, you know, I can wear whatever I want. But that's like a clue. It's a clue to the mentality. The general mentality is that there are rules that you live by. And if you want to go outside of those rules and be different, that tends to be a problem. It feels like there's a feeling like you're in a net, and you can kind of push the net a little bit. You're inside the net, you can push the net a little bit, but you can never go outside the net to be different. Now, I could be wrong, because I guess if you go completely outside the net, you wouldn't be a part of society anymore. But I noticed that's the main difference between the way I grew up and what exists here. The thing is like, where do you draw the line? Because it's good to have a set of ways that you conduct yourself, right? It's good. That's what makes an orderly society. That's how you can rely on things working. That's how people have a sense of accountability and civic responsibility. Remember that? Remember civics? Civics used to be where that whole John Kennedy deal of ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. That a sense of that you have an obligation toward your country, because your country takes care of you, and it's a mutual thing. And I think that's wonderful. But then to what extent? Because you see how it can go. That leads me to think of reality in general. Is reality as a whole a complete trap? Because either you fit in the society and you color within the lines, but then once you feel the need to go outside the lines, you can't. But look at all that society has done for you. They gave you an education. They taught you how to behave, and it's a big system that works. You can go to the mall and it's neat and organized. You can design. You can have a business. But then if you want to do something outside of the norm, you are faced with opposition. And that's how I grew up in the United States. That's the American, sorry, that threw me off. That guy threw me off. That's like the American mentality of you just be an individual. So it's like being an individual, but then all of a sudden you devolve into what's going on now in the West is like a complete total mess. No one can get on the same page with each other. So I'm wondering, is that just a trap of reality? Is there no solution to that? Or because if you're an individual and you're in a society like this and you want to dip in and out, like, you got to pick. Are you a part of society or are you not? Are you going to pitch in and be part of the group? Sometimes I feel like that. I feel like, you know, I want to be myself, but at the same time, I very much value a society that works together in a system that has values, that has rules. But then it comes to a point where, like, you feel bad not crossing the street and stuff like that. And it's like, sometimes you just want to break free and just, you know, be weird and cross the street when you're not supposed to, or, you know, just because the sign isn't green, there's no cars, you can cross the street. You don't have to be all nervous about it, you know what I mean? But it's I'm not saying that that's the problem, but it's a clue towards the mentality, because it's all in the mind.